All right. Hi guys. Excuse the fact that I don't have a tripod. I'm going to build, let's say, build on the way I present the stuff. It's very, very important to me that I don't feel like I'm putting stuff on. So I'm just trying to figure out like my way of doing it, and also making it like really clear and easy to interact with, because I know I can ramble, I can talk really fast, and it's not easy to engage with sometimes. So I really want to like get better at communicating what I'm trying to communicate and put it in a format that's approachable. But yeah, hopefully that makes sense. I'm just trying to think about the decks that I'm going to use today. I've got like a few, I can't remember if I've like in the last video used the new stuff that I've gotten, but yeah, I'm going to do a pick a crystal reading today. I thought as well before I'd start I'd share like some stuff that I've been thinking about because of all the like magical reasoning stuff, and yeah, just wanting to like air it out. But part of what's interesting, I'll show you actually, is like recently I've been developing like a relationship with my animals, or just more animals in general, and trying to understand their perspective. I just took care of a dog for like 4 days, like really intensively. I did a lot of training, and it really motivated me to like become closer with my cat, because right now he's not inside because I don't engage him enough to like want to stay inside or like right next to me all the time. So I've just bought a cat like rucksack thing, and I'm going to take him outdoors, and that would be so good for both of us, I think. So that is one point I wanted to share. And then the other point is I also have a snake who has run away from me at the moment because I kind of like scared her. But this setup is part of like having it open, just helping her feel like she's not a caged animal, even though she is at the moment, and like she's a lot harder to understand. But what is relevant here to all this story is basically different creatures live on like different time scales. So if you're warm-blooded, then it's a faster time scale, right? So like what was really interesting, like going from dog to cat to snake, is that the dog is obviously the fastest in a way. Like I think they're warm-blooded more so than the cat. Actually no, they're a different flavor. Okay, I take that back. But anyway, like cat and dog easier to interact with. I think cats are slightly harder. I think they're slightly faster actually. So it goes like cat, dog, then snake. And for me, the dog was very relatable when it comes to like how I act, I guess. Like I could easily figure things out with a dog more because they are quite social animals. They are man's best friend, right? So I think that's where it really comes from. Like our vibe, the human frequency and dog frequency is like really similar. But as humans, we have the potential to consciously connect with every level of being. So it's really important for humans to try to spend more time with animals and create real connections and actually be able to adopt the perspective of the creature, which, you know, there's a lot of scientific or philosophical debate about whether that's possible. 100% it is possible. Like spiritualists have known about this for a very long time. It's in the history, it's in all the mythology, like this is real. But whether people like we've just become so out of touch with all of that stuff that I think now we don't know how to connect with them again. And so I'm trying to explore this idea a lot because I find it really interesting, and there are obviously difficulties about all of it, but the snake in particular is like, you want to be able to interact with an animal where you're giving and taking equally. So whatever is there it's all about the fairness of the exchange. So whenever you have to use a little force, you have to make sure that you're giving back the same amount. So if you use a lot of force to get the thing to do what you want them to do, they will go away from you. And that applies to humans as well, by the way. It applies to anything and everything. It's just the way energy works, like attraction, pull and push and pull, attraction and repulsion. So you have to make sure that the exchange is fair. This applies to like people that you want to be in a relationship with as well, like in a very intimate relationship with. You have to be able to pull back when they're not giving you what you need, and you have to be able to give back what someone else has given to you. That's just so super key to keeping things imbalanced. And I know I'm kind of going on like lots of tangents because this is what I do. I just hope it's interesting and that you're like learning something, because I'm also learning in just like saying what I'm thinking about. But yeah, like hanging out with my snake, like I was getting impatient because I was trying to just take her out. Like basically at some point I want to take her out, but I have this little like pocket here and I'm wondering if she can like chill in there, because I think she'll like the body heat. So she'd probably be comfortable in here. It's quite a small space as well, but I'd have to be really careful. But yeah, I was just trying to like get her out completely calmly. A lot of people like kind of yank snakes out, I think, or just kind of do it in quite a quick motion. And from what I can see, like snakes really like to be slow. They stay still a lot. I'm sure it's like different with different snakes. I don't really know that much about snakes. I know most specifically about my snake and trying to learn about them through her, but she's a corn snake, a rescue corn snake, who's very docile and like really, really sweet. And yeah, like even she is so like flighty. Like you can feel it in their whole body. Like if you just touch their like tube of a body, right? Like it's all, they sense like that. So like imagine if you had like a long kind of tail, or your body like just extended for a really, really long time, and you could feel everything like along that, and your most sensitive side is the underbelly, just like with any creature. So yeah, like handling a snake, like thinking about it, trying to think how can I handle this snake nicely, in a way that we form like a good relationship, because I've already done damage, which is like, it's bad, but like trying to understand more. But yeah, it's just so slow and I'm not going slow enough. So this is also really good for my concentration, and anybody can do exercises like this. Like the more you engage with communication, the more you get to enjoy. But I realized as well, because it's so slow, I get impatient, and that's where the trauma like all happens. Because I use force then instead of like patience and kindness. So yeah, it's difficult. I think there probably has to be a balance there as well. But it then also got me thinking about, there's a myth about the guy who used to be the god of I think he was a demigod in Greek mythology, but his name was Asclepios. And I know about this god specifically, or demigod specifically, because I used to study medicine, and so like there was a link there that made it easy for me to access this person when I was like starting to gain an interest in mythology and stuff. So yeah, he used to put people, like the myth goes, because he became a healer basically, so he was considered a demigod because of his ability to heal. And he had a single rod and had a serpent coiling up it. So this is the emblem of like medicine in the UK. In America, it's been like mixed up. It's actually the wand of Hermes that they use on the medical like institution, which is, it's a historical artifact, but there's also a reason as to why those things got mixed up, because Hermes is really like god of trade, god of commercialization, which kind of fits the bill if you think about it. But yeah, I won't get into that side of things. That's just like part of the stories that merge together. But yeah, like Asclepios, he was a demigod, and the way he healed people was there would be temples like built in his favor, and people would come to his temple and he would put them to sleep. So basically, I think because I was just having this with a snake, like I felt a bit sleepy after interacting with a snake, and I think it's because I'm not yet patient enough to like go that slow. So snakes are on a super high sensitivity or super high receptivity or super high consciousness. So they have an incredible abilities that like we can't even tap into, and we're just ignorant, which is why like we're so scared of them, I think. But yeah, like I think it's the same mechanism that Asclepios used to put people to sleep, because his consciousness level just was so high that he bored people like into sleeping, and that's actually healing, because we restore when we sleep, like within our subconscious. That's how like you figure your shadow out a lot of the time. Like dream work is so important for that kind of thing. So that was kind of my whole point of like all of those stories. But I don't know, 11/11, right? Like it's an 11-minute really dense lecture. I hope it was interesting, and I can't prove like anything really I'm saying. I can like logically explain how I think things go, and that should be enough to like make it sound. But obviously I'm not perfect, so I don't know whether what I'm saying is right or not. This is just how I think of it, and I continue to experiment with life using myself, and I feel this works. But you know, I don't know, it's getting warm in here as well, so I'll take off my hats because I closed the window. I might just open it quickly, give me 1 sec, because like the air. Yeah, that's the other important thing, guys, just for like baseline health. You should interact with the elements a lot, as much as possible. So like getting out into nature, like interacting with earth, air, water, fire, you know, because this is where our understanding of the environment and our connection as humans to like our whole like purpose being here is really important. So yeah, I just want to like share this stuff. I'm going to do a reading now. I don't think it's going to be like a massively long one, just because I've already been talking a lot, and it's quite energetically costly, especially when I have to concentrate for like these kind of stories that my brain does. Right, so I've got some Isis Oracle cards for you that I'm going to use. It's a bit timestamped, so you can skip to this part if you're like, do not vibe with the picture. That's completely fine. So here's the other box that I'm going to use. And I'm going to use this deck. I'm just trying to show you clearly. This is a Thoth deck by Aleister Crowley, and I want to mention her name, Lady Frida Harris, because she did the artwork actually, and I should plug her as well. Star Dragons Oracle deck. So I'm going to use these 4 things. So I took out the Isis Oracle deck already. So this is what the like dragon cards look like. Really love these. These are 2 of my new packs. I don't know the Isis deck like super well yet. We'll see what happens. I'll just keep using them. This silver box has my like first deck in it. It's called the Night Sun Tarot. One of my like all-time favorites, obviously, because it's the first one. You can't beat the first. It's just like, it's just how things go. That's why it's number 1. If you don't get it right on the first attempt, that's going to be your best attempt, no joke. Okay, whoa, we have 3 cards coming out. This is actually an incomplete Aleister Crowley deck as well. It's a 1986 edition. It doesn't have the major arcana in it, which I find really exciting, because lots of people would have, like, you know, wait, my cat's about to